All right, how's everybody doing tonight? For a disclaimer, the thoughts by me are just as what we call thoughts by me and not of the guest and woman that is on. Oh, hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I had to do my little disclaimer before you came on. to,
Hey,
for the purposes of you, not myself.
yeah,
Because I
because
don't
you know how y'all how things going.
it's going all right. Let me get this guy in. Um, Hold on for a minute. Let's see where he is. Log in. Let me tell him log in. It's been an interesting day, but that's okay. How things going out there in DC?
I'm just busy as ever.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm just really busy.
it's been a
Which
day
is
for me. Even watching the some of the Saviors Day. Then I watching CPAC, watching some of Judge and Ron and stuff like that. So been to the gym, been all over the day. But the CPAC thing was very interesting. Now Mr. LaFrere kind of talking about the vaccination. That's interesting. Talking about Savior's Day address in general. So it's been a day.
so the judge was on Brother Ron's show today.
Yeah, he's been going for
Oh,
four
okay.
hours.
Oh, that's why, because I called him and I called the judge, and it went to voicemail. I'm like, because we usually talk on Sunday. So okay, I got it.
Yeah, they've been going at it for 4 hours straight.
Them two them two between Brother
But
Ron,
Judge,
Judge Joe Brown, and Dr. Randy Short, what can talk, can spit some
yeah, they
knowledge.
can
Fact.
talk for quite. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Actually, I don't even get. I just was like, and I was listening to some of it. I was listening to some of my tablet, some on the TV, and all. But yeah, I sent you the thing with it. Maybe you get back. As a matter of fact, Trump spoke for about 2 hours. That was interesting too.
So where did he speak
Yeah, he
at?
spoke about 2 hours.
But where did
Orlando,
he?
Florida.
Okay, but oh, is that the place that Angela Stanton is at and everything? Or I know they had.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
So
So he
did
talked
he?
about
Hmm.
he talked about a lot of things. I'll tell you that. He talked about a whole lot. He talked about states and Supreme Court and the judges being cowards. He talked about that every race that under him, 120 people he endorsed over the last 4 years, they won seats. Even Mitch McConnell, even though Mitch McConnell got a booing from the crowd. Um, he talked about let's go beat him a third time. He talked about he
So
won
he read.
18 and 19.
So he
18 and
read.
19.
He,
Well,
so he.
he said that that's what he was saying, but he was saying that they got to stand up, and he also talked about the trannies and talked about how they could damage women's sports with biological males playing in sports. He talked about that. He talked about a lot of issues. He talked about the Second Amendment. Um, he talked about the employment. He talked about what Biden is doing with the Keystone Pipeline and he was talking about how disastrous it is, and um, since he's been gone for 6 weeks, he talked about all of that and more. And they gave him his regular stand and telling them that we love you, and they were saying you won, you won, you won. It was they had the streets lined up for Trump and stuff like that. They had it lined up. People was outside for miles. As a matter of fact, come to think about it, Biden was in Houston the other day. I just left there, right? And there were people with signs and flags that said "fuck Biden." Yeah. So you ever got in the building and what do you want to do? But yeah, the CPAC thing. I saw Anderson King speak on a panel with Sonny Johnson. Who have you ever heard of Sonny Johnson before? Sonny Johnson is actually she grew up in a school that's probably about 10 minutes from me. She went to school at Huguenot High School, down here in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. She's actually from Richmond. I know some guys that actually knew Sonny Johnson. So yeah, she's got a radio show in I think DC, I'm not mistaken. But she was at the White House with Trump one time when they were talking to she was talking about the opportunities and stuff. So Sonny Johnson's an interesting person. I think she's got the thing called Sonny's Corner. But yeah, so it was interesting. I saw King speak, Marjorie Tauré, Jim Jordan, Charlie Kirk. Didn't see Candace Owens, but they had a whole lot of speakers that spoke, and for it sounded like they're ready to fight back. So they're ready to fight back big tech, council culture, and all this. So you even got people that want Trump to run as a congressman in Florida in 2022, become the Speaker of the House, impeach Kamala and Joe Biden, be president, then run for president in 2024. So it's a lot of interesting prospects. He's breaking it all down. He was talking about the anti-job, the anti-American, and the pro-China.
Did he speak on reparations? Did he speak on mass incarceration? Did he speak on those?
I don't think he didn't speak about that. I didn't really hear him speak on that. But he was talking about more economy and a lot of things otherwise. But since you did bring up reparations, come to think about it, that's very interesting. The former president, Barack Obama, actually said that he believes reparations are justified, but he couldn't get it done because of white resistance, which is.
But he could have did it. But he could have did it
himself.
But he could have did an executive order.
Which, well, it's a sham in itself, really, when he said that, because then he also said that it's justified, but he could understand why other groups, would feel some resentment toward it too. So he kind of like left himself a crack in the door and say it's justified, but I don't really support it because I understand how other groups would feel. So he still left himself some wiggle room. Yeah, so that's how he said it. But I said that, I mean, what do you expect? Obama is a sailboat. I mean, he's going to go wherever the wind blows. You know what's so funny about that, though? That he said that now? I thought about it the same day or same week he was talking about that. They were trying to, the House passed the Equality Act in the Senate, so he brought that up to distract you while they trying to pass a bill for trainees to go in bathrooms and biological males to go in the women's restroom. So it's very interesting that he actually did come out. Then, if you go to ABC Nightline, now they're talking about now all the time Asians getting attacked by black folks. They're saying that it's been a rise in anti-Asian attacks. But a brother called me the other day. He said, "Ain't no rise in that, and why they putting us in the mix for that?"
Not to mention the Asians are suing Harvard Law School or Harvard because something about they are letting blacks in but not letting them in or something to that effect. So I read that on Twitter. So I tweeted back, why, if they want to sue Harvard, go ahead and sue Harvard, but don't sue Harvard on our backs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of us being blamed and then people benefiting from the lies and the abuse that they do to us. And then they get paid in reparation for that. And then we get this, we're the sacrificed lambs. I'm sick of it. And no one on Twitter was really saying anything. It's like I'm the only person that made a comment. Like, but I mean, I don't have everybody Twitter in the United States or the world, but I'm the only one really said anything. And I'm like, why are they using us? If you're gonna sue Harvard, but why say because of blacks and blah 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 and blah blah blah? Like, I was horribly offended. And NAACP, the Black Caucus, that's what they should have been on. They should have been attacking that right there. So, but hey, who am I?
Yeah, I mean,
they keep using us for their bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why a guy would ask me this question. Did they shut Dana's channel down? I don't know. That's interesting. I have to check that out.
Why would they shut her channel down?
I don't know. I guess I have to get in contact with her and ask her.
Well, the judge
But
was
yeah,
just on his show last week, last Thursday or last Wednesday, when you and I was on his show, he was on Dana's show. So he had two phone calls, two shows going at the same time. So that was just a couple of days ago.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But here, yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. But yeah, about the Asian thing, I laughed at it because I said, wait a minute. And I'm glad Dawson and Kulik did a show last night about that because number one, I can point to you plenty of instances where Asians been jacking up black folk. I ain't got that many videos of black folk jacking up no Asians. Unless you now, if it happened in the Bay Area and some of them areas in New York, the robberies and stuff is skyrocketed. So it's not like you want somebody robbing you in the middle of poverty, stricken situations might jack you up. Hey, welcome to the club. People get robbed every day. So what's the problem? Hold on, let me get this brother in. Hey, brother.
Hello, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, how are
I'm doing
you?
all right. This is the brother Chaq that we were talking about.
How you doing, King?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he said he wanted you to talk more, so I said bring him on. Let's go. So go ahead, Chaq. Tell me what you think about
who he wanted to talk more.
you.
Why?
He gonna tell you.
Because you have such a professional persona about you that, I enjoy your the way you disseminate things. The information that you
But more, women of color, which I consider myself as a Aboriginal Black American woman, and more of us need to learn how to listen. So I like to do a lot of listening because as a woman, it's good to listen than talk so much because we have a lot to learn from our Aboriginal Black, beautiful Black men. And I said men. I didn't say, thugs and, stuff like that. I said men, our beautiful Black men.
Yeah, and so there you go, your answer, Shaq. So there your answer, what she was just telling you.
Beautiful.
But okay. Someone asked me in my chat. Now let me say this to you. Yeah, so I was talking about to Dr. Carmen. You came in a little late. I don't know if you saw. Well, first off, let me start off. Let me back up just a little bit. Like I said, it's been a day for me, but I don't know if you saw any of the CPAC conference and Trump's speech. It was pretty interesting.
I didn't catch Trump's speech, but I saw some of the beginning parts, some of the beginning speakers.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I was telling Dr. Carmen, they look like they're getting ready for revenge.
Did you watch the whole thing, or you watch segments?
I watched quite a bit of it today. And okay. I did see Trump speech. He talked about 2 hours, and he said, "Let's go win a third time." He talked about how he got 12 million more votes. Actually, said he got more votes than that, but he said if you don't count the votes they threw away and stuff like that. And he said that it's unconstitutional because the states changed their voting laws days for the election, and that's against the Constitution. He said the Supreme Court had no heart, and they let down a lot of people. But he actually said everything I told you. The first thing he came out and said, "Do you miss me yet?" That's the first thing he said when he came out. "Do you miss me yet?"
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And I've been vocal about it the last couple of days on Twitter and Instagram. Yes. And I've sent him a couple of little Instagram messages. Yes. I'm not gonna I'm not even gonna hide it anymore. I'm tired of hiding it. So Whoever want to
Yeah.
send me hate mail, send it.
Okay. Yeah. Lauren just hit me up.
She
Okay.
just hit me up too.
Okay. Well, we hope you do. I'm gonna tell her we hope
So,
you do.
so
Hold on.
Bernard, you used the word they're gearing up for revenge. So you know I'm a practicing Buddhist and a scholar of metaphysics, science of the mind, and mental science. I would like to change, with respect to you, I would like to change that word from revenge to they are gearing up for success.
Okay. Well, that's fine. They are. But he was saying they got to watch him because he said you had illegal immigrants voting in the election and people voting. As a matter of fact, come and think about it, and I don't know if I sent you this article, Shaq, and I might have slipped my mind. Michigan just last week removed 170,000 voters, 177,000 voters off their voting rolls. How did that happen? That means you had 177,000 people that weren't supposed to be voting. That's what that means. And he described it in all these states. He said he won more states than that, but them swing states, every state you had more votes than voters. I think in one state you had 125% vote turnout. There's no way you can have 125% vote turnout. You don't even have 70% of people vote in any election. So you ain't gonna have that much of a voter turnout. Now, that was just funny, but he broke it all down and he said this is becoming a socialist and third world country. And I said, yeah, but the problem with the third world country is that he talking about the third world people will be us and the immigrants and the Chinese and everybody else, they're gonna be the replacement plane.
But you know, I'd rather, my thought is a little different because everything is a matter of, the an illusion and or someone else's creation in the matrix. And I'd rather for us Aboriginal Black Americans to really focus on what we are doing and not focusing on what's going on around us, but focus on what we are doing and what we need to do to move forward. Because my point is, you got to understand, may I say, is that we have the highest frequency and vibration on this planet. It doesn't matter how many numbers of them that they are. We have the highest frequency and the highest vibration on this planet. You know what I'm saying? But because we don't know who we are, because we have forgotten who we are, we so into what the Asians are doing, what the Mexicans are doing, what the this is that, and the white man and all that kind of stuff. But if we focus on ourselves, we focus on our vibration and our frequency and our creation, things can start happening.
All right, let me say something to you
about
that.
That's absolutely true.
I agree with you 100% on that. Now, I was going to say this. The frequency, right?
Yeah.
We got high frequency right now talking, but we got some people in your own ranks that's trying to lower your frequency too. So you got to cut those out. They really have, look, man, let me tell you something, Shaq. Let me get to my other thing and then I'm going to just carry on and hopefully Lauren joins us. But this is funny. So the other day, what's his name? You know this thing I told you about Asians and Jeremy Lin talking about that he got called coronavirus on the court, but now he doesn't want to say who said it. I said, wait a minute, it's like a Justin Smollett thing. And I'm sitting there saying the NBA 80% black, so just tell us the player who said it if that really happened, right? So I said, but coronavirus is, what is that? I mean, I play basketball today. I mean, people talk crap on the court. So somebody called you coronavirus, go get it. Jeremy Lin was an overrated play anyway. He wasn't really nothing anyway. He was just propped up because he's a little Asian boy playing ball. He ain't even real Asian because it ain't no real Asian I know named Jeremy. So he ain't no damn real Asian no way. So let's go ahead and he got something mixed with him. He might be white Chinese or something like that. But get out of here. And he went to Harvard too, by the way, Dr. Carmen. That's another thing that's kind of funny. I'm glad we thought I just mentioned that. But in all honesty, and this is what I'm talking about, the low frequency, Carmen. I'm talking about Al Sharpton and these bootlicks were actually out there protesting, rallying, and talking about you are not going to hurt our Asian American citizens. I think an Asian guy got attacked by a police officer or something. They were out there having with the National Action Network. I think, are you kidding me? With all these black folk getting beat up by police in the country, you worry about, man, come on, man, give me a break. That was embarrassing, man. Go ahead, Chaq.
But oh man. Well, look, like I said, when we get on the basketball court, or men, with high testosterone, we get in those areas in competition with each other. Things tend to fly off the mouth. Now you don't mean them, but it's just throw your opponent off balance. You know what I mean? It ain't trying to do nothing to try to disrespect nobody. That's just how we play when we play in sports like this. It's trying to get the best competitive edge and trying to throw your opponent off. Now, if you're trying to flip it and make it a political thing, obviously somebody is behind that, pushing that. You know what I mean? Putting the battery in his back to push that narrative.
Okay. Well, that's good. Now, let me say, as you well know, and actually you well know because you actually came to the airport to meet, but I had to catch the other flight, and get out of there because otherwise I'd be there stuck at 8 o'clock that night. I had a little trip to Texas. Very interesting. So shout out to Sherry Dawson, Mr. Phillips, and Mr. McClure. They might be listening in. Thank y'all for y'all wonderful time greeting me in Texas and making me feel at home. By the way, dang, I forgot the brother's cash app. Well, I know her cash app. $ Sure 8106. Say your cash app, brother. I mean, you just cash app me something, but I gotta actually look this stuff up, man. You know, say your cash app, man. People need to donate. Thanks for donating to me, but and thank Dr. Carmen as well. But they need to be donating to y'all. I'll be all right. y'all mean a lot to a lot of people.
Well, like you said, if we all get on the same page and everybody got cash out, right? So say you got your contacts. Is everybody just donate to each other? You know what I'm saying? $5, $6 every month. You know what I mean? We can start to try to change the narrative financially, and we're going to force other people to join because they're going to see, okay, well, these people are trying to work together. No matter if you like the person or not, we passed that. You know, no matter what your religion is, we passed that. You see what the LGBT community did, what they did. A lot of them don't get along. You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily mess with each other. LGBT, those different acronyms, but a political or social advantage. You know, they put their beliefs beside, and when they represent the LGBT community, it's for all that believes what their preference are, or what they think their preference should be. But when they go their separate ways, they own individual, whatever, entity or whatever. We need to start taking that motto, Hebrew Israelites, you know what I mean? If Nation Islam, Muslim or whatever. Like you said, Malcolm X said, leave your religion home in the closet, especially when we're trying to do something on a collective basis. Even when you go to work, when you go to these companies and these jobs, right? You can't hardly bring your beliefs to work. You got to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has different beliefs on a job, but you got to do the best interest of whatever the company is representing.
Okay, let me. Where's this? Okay, so I got it right here. All right, let's see. Okay, this one of the people. And people just need to donate to people in their own family and friends and text anyway. I wouldn't go to these organizations. Do not donate to no ALC, none of these politicians, because all it is slush them for them. They're going to come and rob you blind. You know what these politicians do when they do these fundraisers. They come and rob you blind. That's all they're doing. But, let's see. What's yours again? Oh yeah. Well, actually, and even in New Orleans, you can donate to Brother Gavin Rashad, $ Gavin Rashad Esquire. He's right there in about Texas. I'm pretty sure New Orleans, got some problem. Also to the young queen that's starting the garden, $ Lauren NX. Hope she comes on. We'll see. That'd be interesting. You yourself, Shaq 1981. Of course, Mr. Valentine, who gave me a ride to the airport, $NYC MIA, and of course, Sure Dawson, Sure 8106, and also donate to the Black store they have in Houston because they actually showed me a good time. The young brother, and probably older than me, Lloyd, showed me a good time. They're actually doing their movie night with Judas and the Black Messiah. So shout out to those people in Houston, Texas, and also special shout out to Val Denise Jones, and also you can donate to helping ourselves to transform, or you can sign a petition for commonstory.org, which is right there in that chat in her name right there. And that's the people that don't worry about me. I mean, mine is $1919 BJ, but don't worry about me. Worry about them. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. So
don't worry. Don't worry. Period. Worry is a low vibration. Don't worry. Period.
But there's his brother saying, "B1, thank you from all the way from California." Now, but I will want to say something that happened while I was in Texas, rolling blackouts. Now I will say this: that was over when I got there, but the winter storm. And Shaq, you had some things that you had experience with the snow, so explain that.
Well, yeah, a lot with the snow, like you said, it came so fast and the temperature dropped so quick. It was unusual, it wasn't no usual like snowstorm. You know what I mean? Because I'm like I said, I grew up in the Midwest, Illinois, so I know how cold it can get. In Chicago, it get -20, -19, but they don't cut no power off. But then again, you got to think too. A lot of those structures and the logistics of a Midwest state to a East Coast state to a Southern state or whatever, the structures are different. Like how they weather-wise, the structures, it's a little bit different. So I can understand it a little bit. But with the rolling blackouts, like I said, it was a decision that they made. I don't think they necessarily had to make that decision. It's a decision they made because where I'm at, maybe 10 minutes up the road, some of those neighborhoods never went without power or water. So how can you how is that explained?
You're right.
The heart machine.
I'm trying to strategize and think.
Let's talk about a little operation that they got called Operation Dark Winter. See, a lot of people thought when Joe Biden said in the debate, "Oh, it's gonna be dark winter," you thought he talking about, "Oh, it's gonna be bad for Corona." No. They're talking about an operation called Operation Dark Winter, which is a code name for a senior level bioterrorist attack simulation conducted on June 22nd through June 23rd, 2001. It was designed to carry out a mock version of a covert and widespread smallpox attack on the United States territory and Thomas Inglesby of the Johns Hopkins Center for Civilian Biodefense Strategies. Everybody know where Johns Hopkins is in Baltimore. It's a wicked hospital. They do all types of human experimentation in Johns Hopkins. All types of human and biological stuff. And the location, this was at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. I'm sure for sure Dr. Carmen Johnson knows where Andrews Air Force Base is. And the smallpox attack was supposed to be localized in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and attack cases in Georgia and Pennsylvania. And the simulation will result in the massive loss of civilian life were used to exploit the weakness of U.S. healthcare infrastructure and its ability to handle a threat. The widespread panic would emerge, in which resulted in mass social breakdown and mob violence. And the timing just a few months before the 9/11 attack was eerily prescient as its organizers had foreseen how the threat of terrorism, including biotech, would come to consume the U.S. government and public in years to come. Also, there was shortages of vaccines and other drugs affected the response available. This led to great public anxiety and flight by people desperate to get vaccinated, and it had a significant effect on the decisions taken by the politically. In addition, Doc Winter revealed that a catastrophic biowarfare in the United States government would lead to considerably reduced U.S. strategic flexibility on board. And for example, state leaders will want controllers' decisions regarding the emphasis of disease containment measures, mandatory versus voluntary isolation and vaccination, the closure of state borders and air traffic, of all traffic, and when to close airports. What did I have going on last week? I told you I could never fly out. It kept closing the damn airport. It told me I couldn't fly out. So, and what did FEMA do that they're gonna do in the time? You thought they was opening up food centers. No, Joe Biden went to NRJ Stadium. That's a mass vaccination stadium. So I tell you this: any football and basketball stadium that did not open last year, you couldn't go to a game, but they opened up for to vaccinate people. You ought to not go to another game again. That's how I look at that. That's how I look at it. I mean, you shouldn't go. I mean, why would you open it up to the public to get vaccinated, but you don't go? I can't go to the game, right? It's kind of crazy, right? I'm just saying. Very weird, isn't it?
Well, like you said, they have successfully made us a culture of drug addicts. Now, you got a lot of people that say about these kids doing drugs, the illegal drugs, but we are a nation of legal drugs. So what's worse, illegal or legal drugs? The trick is you're still doing drugs. That's the trick. They still got you on drugs. You know what I mean? So we got people pointing the finger at the young kids, and you got just as much older people on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Legal drugs. They got a medicine cabinet. They don't know what the medicine do, but they got a medicine cabinet. So we got to correct that too. If we're gonna correct the drug thing, it ain't just about illegal drugs. It's about us being addicted to drugs, period. And I'm gonna say it again. In America, sugar is the #1 drug. They slipped it under our nose. You know what I mean? We take it. It's in everything. It's in everything. Food is in meat. Is in everything. And people unconsciously consume it like it's normal, and it's not normal.
Well, speaking of this, I got this text from Miss the Queen Lauren, and she said she's cooking. So since you're talking about sugar and food, you had a thing with diabetes, and so explain us about the process of eating, and then I'll listen to the Queen talk about eating.
I'm still going through the struggle with this so-called disease as diabetes. You know what I mean? I had to do my own research and started to go on my own journey and figure out what's the problem. Because even I was taking the medicine, I wasn't, I was still deteriorating, and I still got battle wounds and scars because I'm still in the struggle. Now I don't take the medicine anymore, so I got battle wounds from years of excessive blood sugar levels being out of control. Your vision go bad. You get glaucoma and cataracts. It messes with your nervous system. They call it neuropathy. You have a lot of tingling in your hands and feet. And sometimes, even though you may get, I guess, past as a type 2 past diabetes, you still may have those battle scars from it. Your skin may still be, kind of taking different kind of textures in your skin because of this, because of that disease you went through. Your vision still might be, your nervous system still. So you still got to try to get those things back in balance, and it's still a battle because you still got the wounds. A lot of people don't explain that. They say, yeah, well, they reversed they diabetes. Hopefully they reversed it before they went 5 to 10 years deep into having, diabetes.
Well, let me say something. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Carmen.
So, again, I say it all the time because I'm trying to reach my people. And I keep making a point. I am a practicing Buddhist. I am a scholar of metaphysics, science of the mind, and mental science. And brother, I am a reader. I've read over 1,000 books, and some books I read over and over and over again. And one book I highly suggest that you read and that you digest is called Becoming Supernatural. And I was going to put it in the chat, but I don't see where I can put it in the chat at. But it's becoming, I can send it to Bernard, and then Bernard can send it to you. And they also have it on audio if you prefer audio. But me, I love the words. I love how the words dance on the paper, and I love the smell of books and all of that kind of stuff. But Becoming Supernatural will take you back to who you really are. And who you really are is a God. You are a God of this universe. You are a God of yourself, and you control every aspect of yourself. This book is a powerful book, and the author is called Dr. Joe, and I may pronounce it wrong, Dispenza, Dispenza. But it's an excellent book. And maybe we can exchange telephone numbers or something like that through Bernard. And I can suggest some other books on how to heal yourself, because it starts with your diet, because the things that we are eating is not made for our bodies. And the reports and stuff and data that they have out there is not is not for us. They're the requirements of a certain type of iron level that they need, and this and that they need, and the vitamins that they need is different than what we need. So when we are following their regimens, it affects us in a negative way. And I'm using the word negative because that's what it's doing. So I would like to offer the suggestion, King, if you could read this book. And it goes into meditation. It goes into explaining why that's needed, and focusing on the injuries of your body and how to heal your body is deep. And you got to be ready for it. But the way he says to me, because I've been studying so long, is over 20 something years, is in layman term, but you should be able to comprehend what this man is saying. If I can offer that suggestion to you.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
I'm open for any and every information. I'm open to any and every information. Like you said, I don't know everything, and that's why I'm just here trying to figure stuff out like everybody else. So anybody that has any type of information on, like you said, any type of information that can help us to get better and heal ourselves, like you said, I'm willing and open to that.
Yeah, I just sent it to Bernard. So Bernard, if you can send him that title, that'd be great. And then also you can find it on YouTube, which you can listen to the audio of it. And it's maybe like 5 hours or something. I can't remember. Because but it may be like 3 to 5 hours long or something. But it's a start, because we are our creators, but we're living in someone else's creation, which is effed up.
Well, I'm going to send it to him right now. It's called Becoming Supernatural. And also I will post that. Now, me, from a different perspective, as you well know, I'm also a personal trainer. So this is actually kind of funny. So, I mean, to me, I've never been over 160 pounds. I think I'm 153, between 155 right now. That's probably about 3 pounds that I gained in the last year, which ain't really that much. Probably I could lose that in no time. But I don't do what you call actual fasting, but I eat so little at times, almost like a fast. Like I eat almonds and oranges and carrots, and then I might have a meal at the end of the day. It's very well I have a actual meal. Sometimes I do, like I might eat some oatmeal, or I might, like I just had asparagus and some veggie pizza a little while ago. But I'm saying for the most part, I do not, engage a lot of eating. It's so spared out. So, it's hard to do anything. I mean, I just had the Nation of Islam got a book, How to Eat to Live. You're not supposed to indulge and overeat. You're just supposed to eat enough for vitamins, nutrients, and so forth. I haven't had a soda in 12, 13 years. I don't eat any pork. I don't eat any beef. I mean, I might eat some fish once in a blue moon, maybe once or twice, once a month at best. So, I mean, as a matter of fact, I can tell you the one time I had meat in Texas, and that's because I wanted a veggie burger and I wanted to support the rest. I said, give me one of your turkey burgers from Turkey Hut, but that'll be it. I asked for a veggie burger, black bean burger. So, I mean, it is what it is. But as far as nutrition and stuff goes, drink water, alkaline water, and stuff like that. Look, I'm just inviting everybody. Look, any fast food store you should not go to. Don't go to KFC. Matter of fact, they 3D bioprint meat anyway, right? So you don't need to go to KFC. They cloning meat, right? I mean, like I was even talking about Asians earlier. Man, look, man, you might want to check and see if there's some dog meat or, hey, people saying, well, people don't eat dog. Why don't they? People eat anything, delicacies, man. I mean, you got black folks eat chitlins, don't you? So why can't they eat dog? I mean, what the hell? And probably, to be honest with you, I hate to say it, but the dog might be more clean than chitlins. Not that I'm telling you eat dog, but the dog probably more clean than the chitlins. Because the chitlins is
it's important that we improve our diets. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. Yeah. We at this point, you can't fight nothing if you know what I mean? If you don't have the energy to do it. And like you said, like Dr. Carmen Johnson said about iron, they keep talking about protein, but if your iron is low, you have no energy. And I'm pretty sure people are experiencing this low energy. They wake up in the morning, they got fogginess in the head. Even when you might be coming home from shopping or something, and you just feel like you thirsty, or you just got low energy, you're feeling cramps and stuff in your body. That's because your iron level is low. We're not getting enough iron, proper iron too. We need to research and see what's the proper iron that we need to be ingesting.
Yeah, you're right.
The other thing that Bernard said, like I'm 55 years old, and I have no health problems, none, absolutely none. I mean, I'm past the little menopause piece, experienced that a little bit, and I used herbal supplements to deal with that. But there's absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, I've been very conscious of the way I eat since my 20s. And I eat one small meal a day, and very small meal a day. I eat to survive, like Bernard said. I will not eat to be full. I cannot eat 2 or 3 meals a day. I cannot function that way. Matter of fact, I just came off a 23 days, Bernard, a 23-day fast of liquids, and maybe every couple of days I ate an orange or something like that, or some almonds. But I just came off a 23-day fast, and I do that quite often. So I'm very conscious of the fact that the food that they are selling us now is absolutely not good. So I just eat just enough to sustain myself. And then, like I said, I do extensive
Let me give a shout out to people in Houston. I gotta give a shout out to people in Houston. I tell you one thing though, when I went to Houston, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I went to that Sam's Club, and I told boy, just take me to the store right here, any store you want. And I said, take me to the Sam's Club right there. And to my knowledge, I said, man, hey man, you gotta take me to another store, man. Why? They ain't got no produce in here. They took all the produce, they took all the water, they took all the oranges. It was all gone. So I gotta give them credit for one thing. At least they had common sense this time. No, don't buy no damn toilet paper, hand sanitizer. You go take all the produce, so I won't get it. Because I damn sure that's why I was trying to get the salads and the fruit out the goddamn store. But they took it from me, man. I ain't mad because that means people is getting the right thing. So I ain't even mad. I had to go to the store, but so what?
Yeah. And plus, they didn't have no choice because guess what? If you didn't have any power when you was out of water, you couldn't cook. You couldn't cook, so you got to eat stuff that you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's why I just laughed at it. So I mean, it was what it was. But but what happened last week in Texas should show people because it could happen in your state. You know,
Yes.
that with everything going on with these attacks on the grids, China got half control over the U.S. power, got access to the U.S. power grid, which is very scary um, when you really think about it, in a way. But it's very interesting. But I know I do got to get this out there because I always give shout outs and love to Dr. Johnson, which is mighty funny. She actually talked about the menopause piece because I know women that's over 56 years old and haven't hit menopause yet. It's very interesting. But but you got a book coming out, you know, soon. So I would like you to explain that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I got a book coming out, but it's not talking about menopause. It's talking
No,
about
no, no, no.
the name of it is called The Pretense of Justice. And it's talking about my experience that I went through with the injustice system. It talks a little bit about how I grew up and, the fact that, my family was very political. And, my parents and grandparents created political children and grandchildren. And I'm the more radical one of my brothers and sisters. And it talks about a little about Mayor Marion Barry. He was like a godfather to me. My mother worked under him, his whole regime as the mayor of Washington, D.C., and the things that I learned from him. Then it goes into, me being a successful businesswoman, me making my first $1 million when I was 37 years old. And then it goes into my humanitarian and philanthropy work and starting a 501c3 for the youth and going into the schools and teaching financial literacy and being self-sufficient and being business owners from elementary school, junior high, high school, and did some seminars and lectures in colleges in Maryland. Then it goes into me becoming the housing chair for the state conference NAACP of Maryland, being a beacon and being a advocate to try and stop the illegal foreclosures that was going on in the state of Maryland at that time. Subjectively, it was going on all over the United States. And ultimately, I was politically hit by the most powerful man in Maryland at the time. I was offered money to stop my narrative, to go back on the news, to say that, Maryland did not have any foreclosure issues going on. I told them I could not do that. This issue was happening all over the United States. People was losing their homes. They was losing their pensions, not to mention, our tax-paying money bailed out Wall Street. Our tax-paying money bailed out the banks. And, people lost their homes and lost their pensions. Subjectively, they, said that I did 24 counts of mortgage, bank, and wire fraud. I never did a mortgage except my personal home. I never got into real estate or anything like that. My for-profit company offered credit restoration, debt arbitration, financial planning, preparation for bankruptcy, rehabilitation after bankruptcy, identity fraud. We gave small loans. We had a relationship with over 2,000 creditors and creditors and companies, and we were able to negotiate settlements and pay those settlements off for our clients. We were a member of Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. We was licensed by the state of Maryland. We worked with realtors, the 5 major banks and mortgage companies all around the United States. So it talked about that. They slid me in a real mortgage, bank, and wire fraud case with 14 Tanzanian Africans. All of them took a plea except me. And the first plea they offered me was for 30 years. And I said, there's no way I'm going to take a plea for something I did not do. They use stress, duress, and coercion, I think that's what they call it, to try to pressure me into taking a plea. And I refused. I can be as transparent as possible and say, and I speak in my book, I was afraid, but it was no way as a Buddhist, as a scholar of metaphysics, as a person that grew up in politics, it was no way I can lie and say I did something when I did not do anything. It was no way, because I was scared of the white man, to lie and say, okay, I did it. There was no way that I can do that. And my book is mainly about stressing to my people that a lot of my people are taking plea deals for things that they have not done, or little things that they done, but they get huge football numbers. And, is a reason why the feds got a 98% conviction rate. Most of them, well, all of those are plea deals. And then 2% go to court. And then you figure, 50% of the 2%, they get acquitted, and those are the white guys. And then the 1.5%, they get bust in the head, and they go to jails, prison camps, cages, and I ended up at a prison camp. It goes into the abuse that I received along with the other women. I received physical abuse, and a lot of the women received also sexual abuse. It goes into the fraud and the fraud and the lack of medical care and no mental health treatment that we was not getting at that prison camp. And it's supposed to have been the top-notch camp in the United States. It talked about me being drugged on the floor by a bunch of white racist male guards, and I've never experienced physical abuse from a man in my life. And I think my dad may have whipped me maybe 3 times in my life, but as far as a man is concerned, I never experienced that. So, I was drugged on the floor. They strangled me till I passed out. They burnt me on my forehead. I went through it. Ultimately, I pulled myself together. I sued them. I sued that prison camp that's in the book. I sued that prison camp for myself, and also for the women that was receiving the same abuse, and physical and sexual abuse that, we was receiving. I had the feds come in and raid the feds. The feds raided that camp and escorted the warden, the assistant warden, the captain, the lieutenant, all of them off the compound. And the feds ran that compound for about 4 to 6 weeks. I have letters, and I have declarations that women signed that they saw the abuse that I went through, being thrown in solitary confinement. And it's just incredible of, what I went through and what I was able to sustain. And now I'm here to talk about it. My book is ending with who I am now, who I have become, and the fact that what I learned about this whole experience is that I am who I say I am. And I am an activist, and I am a person that believed in mass liberation of my people and the stopping of mass incarceration. And I also believe in reparations that's due to us from the white man, from the $5 Indians, from the Africans, from everyone owe us. And I am a activist that's standing up for that. And the last thing that I have to say, my book is ending with the fact that I'm breaking down those 9 Crime Act bills that are put in place that have helped create a mass wave of incarceration on our people. 7 of those Crime Act bills, President Biden sponsored, co-wrote, or wrote. So now I'm working on a report for a senator who's been waiting on the report from me, and also from a congressman who's been waiting on me to hopefully, stand with me on doing something about these 9 Crime Act bills that are continuously affecting the Black, brown, and tan community. And yeah, they got the First Chance Act, they got the Second Chance Act, and all of that, First Step, or whatever you call that. They are letting people out, but the quicker they're letting people out, the faster they're going back in. And I can say that is because I've sat in over 2,500 bond review hearings since February 2020 to now, 2,500. And they are still arresting our babies. They are still arresting our beautiful Black men. They are now focusing on arresting more professional Black women. And I have a problem with that. So I'm still fighting for the people. Even though the people have not stood with me, I'm still fighting for the people.
Speaking of that, let me say something to you.
Because guess what? Let me finish. guess what? I have the universe behind me, beside me, in front of me, around me, and I'm not afraid. And so that's what my book is about.
Well, let me say something to you about that. It's mighty funny because I was just thinking about this. I was thinking about the NAACP the other day. And if you really want to, remember I was talking about this thing with the women playing, the men playing sports and everything?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't believe that the ACLU and the NAACP and these other organizations, which you think are for you, are supporting this crap. Okay? The NAACP supports the LGBTQ. Well, I know why, because it's really not a black organization. It's really run by a bunch of Jewish people. That's the real reason why. So it ain't no surprise, actually. But the National Congress of Black Churches. Oh yeah, I told you that when I was in Houston, Joe Osteen got one of the biggest churches. They got security guards with guns in Houston, Texas. I mean, in the church. they rolled up the carpet. You got TD Jakes in Dallas. You got all these people. And what are they talking about? Taking a shot or, supporting this person. No, man. As a matter of fact, come to think about it, you won't believe it. Well, actually, Dr. Carmen knows the NAACP is also tied to a lot of white banks. That's almost insane, right?
Well, Wells Fargo and Aquan have an office inside National
That's an
NAA.
insult, right? Isn't that an insult?
Absolutely it is. They Wells Fargo did fraud on our people and stole a lot of, Black families' generational wealth.
Well,
yeah. I want people that don't have, if you don't want us as the people that's been oppressed, like you said, if you don't want us to get reparations, even people that look like us, if y'all don't want that, please be quiet, because the conversation is not for you then. The conversation is for people and for the ancestors that's owed reparations. We're not begging for it. It's old. It's a debt that's owed. And you would think that you would, these people in charge that's so pro equality people, that they would want to right the wrong. So if you're not for reparations, if you're not pro reparations, I posted on my Facebook, I am pro reparations. Are you, with the question mark? Period. That's if you're not, be quiet. It's not for you. The conversation is not for you. Sit back and watch the show.
Now, let me say something, because I want to say something that's very interesting. And people can take this however they want and they get mad. I was talking to a brother the other day and I said, them are the stimulus package. I said, I don't think we needed that expense. I'm gonna tell you why. That stimulus package is worth $1.9 trillion, right? I don't want that 9%. I want the other 91% that's going to special interest groups, lobbyists, museums, and all that. Don't give me the $1,400. Give me the other 91% of that. Don't be donating to Disney, cities, bailouts. It's not my fault that you let Black Lives Matter and people run through the street and destroy property, and now you want to fix your city up. It's not your job to do vaccine funding with that money. Give the people of the country this money, especially us. But really, to tell you the truth, you ought to be ashamed when you find out that the governor of California decided to give people who not even supposedly citizens of this country, right, $600 of stimulus money. That's insane. And they have no social security number. And by the way, what you need to be careful, because I know about Wells Fargo, because a couple of years ago, I remember when about 5-6 years ago, Obama in the office, they scammed me out of $3,000 on my own account. Somebody scammed my account. Okay? And I actually had to pay Wells Fargo back some money. They didn't have to pay it all, but I had to pay them back a little bit of money. So, hello, you better be careful, because they're going to start scamming your account. You saw what happened at the Fed the other day with this so-called hack, that when the Fed bank, was down. You saw that, right? Dr. Carmen, you actually sent me the article. So this was another attack. So you're going to have cyber breaches and more stuff. And one of the things they even said, we're reading what they were doing, they've been experimenting with a digital dollar. That was no mistake that happened that day. That was purposely planned. And Shaq, he's got some experience with Bitcoin and stuff. So you can go ahead and explain Bitcoin to the people.
Well, I don't know much about Bitcoin. I don't know who it's backed by. Don't nobody know who Bitcoin is backed by, right? Now, I worked here in Dallas at a data center, right? They keep all, the servers and stuff with Verizon and all those. They keep the big servers that store everybody data. Now, this company came in when crypto started to get big. They bringing in little server machines. Now, you got to ask yourself, who is mining these server machines and these crypto machines? That's storing all the data, all your personal data and information that they're storing. Who is mining these machines? It's a lot of these foreign companies. There's a lot of these people from India, these Hindu people. A lot of them have bought into mining crypto. A lot of Asian companies are buying into mining crypto, right? So, who is actually making the money off of crypto? Are they, because the thing is, you get more people in it, and they manipulate the numbers with the crypto and the Bitcoin anyway. They can manipulate those numbers of it going up. Oh, it's 52,000. We're 52,000 now. Oh, it's down 7,000 now. Everybody want to jump and put their money in it. Be cautious. That's all I want to say. Be cautious of what is to come. We don't know. And like you said, those machines pull a lot of energy. They got to put a lot of those machines in it because there's a lot of information that's being transferred and stored. So they got to store a lot of those little servers, those crypto servers or Bitcoin machines, those servers.
See this comment? You see this comment?
I saw it.
What did it say?
Okay. So
I can't want to see it.
Start paying attention. There's a federal started appearing in January. Okay, we might have to check that out. All right, thanks, Monique. By the way, shout out to Monique 2C for always giving her wonderful appreciation and donation. She's out there in the state of Idaho, so shout out to people in Idaho. I'm pretty sure they're not giving up their guns, huh? I'm dealing with an idiot governor there here named Ralph Northern and a stupid mayor named Stoney, so it is what it is. But they both probably dress up in dresses for all the main poet. Because when I got back home, I found out they were trying to make casinos down here and stuff. And one of them going to a tribe, and I said, I mean, it's fine if you want to build these casinos, but 4,000. Say 4,500 jobs, but if I show you a picture outside of this thing called Roses, you'd be like, dang, a lot of people going to get their money away. I'm like, I don't understand people. I guess people trying to get a smash hit or something right now because they feel that I don't know how a lot of people can be unemployed and still trying to gamble money away. To me, it's just idiotic to me, but it is what it is. But I do know that if you start bringing out casinos and stuff like that, sooner or later you're going to have more problems. And I never gambled a day in my life, and I don't plan to start. So it is what it is. But yeah, we got to watch these things. They got a lot of stuff going on. But I know where Dr. Carmen said, I've been to the MGM and walked around, and it was a nice place, but I ain't spending the money there, so ain't no need me to really be in there just to explore. But I do like to explore and see things. I am what you call I'm not. Well, I can be a spook that's set by the door on some occasions, but I just like to observe and see what people are doing, how people are thinking, how people are acting. Because there's a lot of areas where I shouldn't be in. Like if people, that's what they say, you shouldn't really be it. I said, no, I can be there because I know not to indulge in that foolishness that you're talking about. I mean, even when I DJ sometime, I like to see how people thinking. I like to read people's minds, man. That's one of my things. I like to try to read people's minds and pick out their vibrations. Just to some people, but it's mighty weird that a lot of people try to figure me out, but they can't figure me out when it comes to talking like this. They can figure me out anything else, but they can't figure me out. They can't even figure me out then because they don't know how I'm thinking. I'm looking at the scientific aspect of it. Like I was talking to a brother in South Carolina. Shout out to him, and we were talking about these the states like South Dakota and these other states that say they're getting rid of the mask mandates and they're not locking down. I'm like, well, first of all, that's why you got Cuomo and the governor of Michigan now getting lawsuits for lockdowns and nursing home deaths and stuff. I knew what Cuomo and them were doing 5 months ago. They surprised the media brought it out, but guess what? It is what it is. But you need to be suing for your grandma and stuff dying of a disease, which is 99.9% curable. And to be honest with you, it ain't no COVID. They need to stop saying it. Coronavirus always been here. They just told you the other day the flu is what? Almost disappeared. Ain't no flu disappear. Daggone. Talk about ain't no flu shot. What the hell? Come on. The flu didn't disappear. They just ain't talking about it. Shoot, I guarantee you, if I go out here and I get in a car accident and I don't live, and and Dr. Carmen and Chaq heard that I was dead, and the doctors said I died of COVID, they probably wouldn't believe it. They say, no, he about to die from that car accident. He ain't died from it. So that's how I'm saying. But jacking up numbers. And then Cuomo actually did this for political purpose because he said he didn't want to report his number to Donald Trump. Now that's just insane, right?
So that's fraud.
That ship that they sent there, they won't nobody on it. Not who they were saying. So your mom, your dad, your granddad, and so forth and so on died because you got people playing politics. That's insane. Now they're playing politics with vaccination too, but that's another story. But I'm just saying. But I got a little bit off the track there, so let me get back to this thing because the Bitcoin numbers were going down, up, down, teeter-totter. So that's why I say I never got into the Bitcoin thing because I don't know who backs it, and I want to know what they're really doing with the market with this thing before I really jump to it. Because you got to be careful because that means they'll start tying everything to you, your bank account. You know, they tie everything to crypto, and certain companies don't use it. Is that right, Chaq?
Well, I've been banking with Navy Federal Credit Union for over 5-6 years now. And I called a representative from the bank to ask them about Bitcoin. She said they're not. I asked them, are they going to, or do they have any Bitcoin, any stakes in Bitcoin? She told me no. I said, well, are you guys going to get? Are you going to start? You know? She said we haven't had any plans on it as of today. You know. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't, you know, I'm not telling people not to, like you said, because people, what they're doing with the Bitcoin and the crypto, they're investing in it and they're trying to grow their money. And what they do is they invest the money that they grow with the Bitcoin and they invest it into other tangible investment options, stock options and stuff. So you got to get deep into that. You got to, know what you're doing. Because you got people that's trying to make a dollar out of 50 cents. Everybody, they trying to make money, a quick turnaround. You're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna be using their stimulus checks to flip it, And hey, beware, buyer beware. That's all I want to say. I don't know much about it, but buyer beware.
Let me respond to this comment. Bishop, he shouldn't be impeached. He should be killed by death by firing squad or locked up in somebody's prison. He needs to be a little bit more than impeached. That savage need to be locked up and killed. Sorry, that's a lot of people that died. So I'm not worried about impeachment from office.
A lot of people are missing opportunity with this social media, with the video chatting, Facebook, the Instagrams, the Twitters. Like you said, you have the people that you voted for in office right now. Please don't sit on your hands and let them just do what they want to do. Keep the pressure on them. You know what I mean? You try to keep and the thing is a lot of people, when Trump was in office, that's cool that you don't like Trump. He's racist, he's white supremacist and all that. That's cool. But at the end of the day, you are an adult. You can still go to them and still sit down with them and have a conversation. What are you going to do? Because we're still American citizens at the end of the day. So no matter who's in office, you still got to keep the pressure on the people who's so-called in power. Don't sit on your hands because you.
Let me say something about Trump right quick. The crazy part about this is kind of funny. I always ask this question. When people ask me to say that, I always say, the crazy part, who's telling you that Trump is a racist? Because it might be some black folks saying that, right? But the same white folks that you talk about is calling Trump a racist. So what are you? Aren't you racist too? I mean, you are a white person. I'm just asking. I mean, you still get a beneficial system. So I'm not mad at Trump for taking advantage of tax laws and stuff like that. That's what he's supposed to do. It's there. What he told Hillary Clinton. Barack Obama wrote the tax laws. The other politicians wrote the tax laws. I'm just taking advantage of it.
Right.
Why wouldn't he? He benefit because of his race. So what? He told you I'm the least racist person in the world. It is what it is. So who cares? I'm not worried about it. Shit. Race. Well, you're a pianist. That means you love playing the piano. You racist. You love your race, I guess, right? So what the hell? I mean, really, to tell you the truth, he wasn't racist until he became president to a lot of people. Really, to tell you the truth, actually, Donald Trump is, to me, he ain't no racist. He is he's racist by default. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, to me, more so, he just straightforward. He tell the truth. And to me, yeah, he a racist. But guess what? He's a deal maker. That's why he had the book called The Art of the Deal. Okay, he's a deal maker, and he liked to read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. So this man's a deal maker. I mean, you probably get Donald Trump get anything you want because he's a deal maker. I mean, as long as he's making money or making a deal that's going to benefit the United States government, that's who Donald Trump is. As a matter of fact, you could probably buy the Art of the Deal probably about $5 right now. I think Dr. Carmen Johnson might have read that book once or twice, huh?
The Art of War, which one?
The Art of the Deal.
By Donald Trump?
Yeah.
I've read every last one of his books he's ever wrote or co-wrote. And I used a lot of his practices in my business, and I was able to become a millionaire at 37 before the feds took my money. But I made my first million when I was 37. And I made my first million because I invested in myself and no one else.
Well, I will say this about Mr. Trump. You know, people say, I want people to be transparent and tell the truth. No, they don't, because they wouldn't, what he said wouldn't bother you. I just sit there and drip because I already know what he's saying. I already knew this. What he said about what's going on in the southern border today, about the child sex trafficking and smuggling at the border, drug cartels and all that. I mean, Shaq, you in Texas, you know about the border. Everybody know human trafficking is big down there. So when he said what did he say? What you got to lose? What was he lying? He had nothing to lose. He had nothing to lose. And in some ways, you probably gained more. So it is what it is. I just don't think people will be able to handle somebody straight up. I got people who don't even like me because I tell it like it is. Screw you. Damn your feelings. That is what it is. Stop being so sensitive. But the worst part about it is, I hate to say it, I can understand some women getting a little bit turned off by it. But if you're a man, you a black man, you tell me that Donald Trump a racist, and that's your reason, for your rational reason, you are a sorry excuse for a man. I hate to tell you that. You are sorry, and you are a simp. And you really... Hey,
Yeah,
man,
you know what it is too? You know what it is too? See, they was a little frightened by all these so-called Trump supporters, the so-called white supremacist Trump supporters, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to fight at some point in time, right? You can't keep sitting back and thinking that some mystic person in the sky gonna come down and save you. You might have to fight. You might have to defend yourself. Not fight, but defend yourself. Self-defense, right? So a lot of people, so-called black people, were uncomfortable because I guess Trump riled up a lot of the white extremist people. You know what I mean? And a lot of them want to go back to say we need to go back to normal. What was normal? Explain to me the last 10 years what was normal about being a black person or so-called black person in America. Explain that to me. What was normal? I'll wait.
Well, let me say something. And Now this is very weird. Now actually, Trump did improve his numbers among black women voters as well. But I'm going to ask Mrs. Dr. Carmen Johnson a question, because Dr. Carmen Johnson is reasonable. She didn't she didn't she didn't see too much of a problem with Trump was saying, did you?
I didn't, well, first of all, I make it my business to not get into white folks' affairs. So that's the first thing.
That's right. That's right.
The second thing is I'm more interested in us creating our own atmosphere and when we can live and function like how the Amish do, like how the Nation of Islam do, like how the Jews do, like how the Asians do. Like, you got to go through the feds got to go through a process to come up in their community to take somebody out their community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we haven't done that yet. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, he did not create a wave of mass incarceration of involuntary servitude of my people. So if he want to say, put his fist up and say white power, that's his business because he white. Because I'm saying black power, so that's my business because I'm black. So that right. He gonna denounce who he is, but the biggest thing is he did not enslave my people. He didn't enslave my people. So this man who's sitting in office right now enslaved so many of our brothers, our fathers, our uncles, our cousins that are still sitting there today. And people that look like us ran out there and voted for him. I have an issue with that piece. Now, that's y'all business if y'all want to go vote. I don't vote, but that's y'all business. But this man don't want to give reparations. I didn't hear it for myself, but I heard that he used the N-word last week. Now I got a problem with that. And not only that, I heard, and Bernard, I know you sent me the video. I just couldn't stomach it. When he did that video, that Zoom with those black male leaders, and he was talking trash to them.
They're not leaders, they punks.
Okay, I got a problem with that. So now here we are today. We got 3 years and 10 months left to deal with this. Now, I'd rather have that last person that was in office who did not enslave my people, because I was caught up in that net of mass incarceration under Obama's administration. So now here we
are.
By
the way, with Mr. Obama, right? I was on the thing with Sean James and Gavin Richard the other night. Shout out to Gavin. He's wonderful as well. But Sean James, Attorney Gavin, actually.
Yep. Absolutely.
And we had a nice little chat. And the thing what it is, Sean James, some black folks might not like this, but it is what it is. If you didn't like it, screw you. Get mad, and you can tell your grandma or whoever I said it, and tell them go fuck off. But he said,
you know better than that.
But hey, it is what it is. Because I don't care about your I don't care about your baby boomer. I don't care about your coon grandma. I don't care about your coon granddaddy and all that stuff. I don't give a. I told you a disclaimer on this video anyway. But when Sean James came on the video and said that Barack Obama was an honorary white man, I said, well, I mean, a lot of people might not like it, but guess what? He grew up with white folks. He think he white. He talk like he white. And he also does everything for interest besides you. So I don't know what's wrong with your coon granddaddy or your coon grandmother, or maybe not. They might not be coons. You know what? They just caught up in the civil rights content, which benefits everybody else. And that's why you got the same trannies and feminist movement taking advantage of you and use the 1964 Civil Rights Act to benefit themselves. That's what you got. And they're actually going under the guise of Black Lives Matter, which, if you don't know who Black Lives Matter is right now, It is what it is. I mean, all you got to do is go look and go count how many black folks you see out there marching, and that's all you got to do. And then you can tell me what's going on here. I see a majority of white folks marching for police injustice, but while they were doing that, they were at the Supreme Court getting LGBT legislation passed and giving half the state of Oklahoma to Indian Native American tribes. Okay, so what's this really about? Just a thought. But I guess people just went over his head. But it didn't go over my head because I watch and pay attention. So that's just something I just wanted to say. But I do gotta and I'm sure my followers won't get offended. They understand what I'm saying. Hey Bishop, I'm not talking about you, by the way. I respect you, okay? So I'm not talking about you. You might be 69, 70 years old. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about everybody, but I gotta make it plain. Some of you people, and look, if your grandma get mad, if your grandma, grandpa get mad, they can come to me. I'm not apologizing, but I tell them what I think about them. Okay, that's just what it is. But I did have one topic to bring up, and this is a topic that I'm going to bring Dr. Carmen and Chaq in, and I can also bring myself into the conversation as well. And hopefully the young queen will come in a couple of minutes. I'm not sure. She said she was cooking. This thing with
let me step out and come back in. I'm having some trouble with my phone. Let me step out and come right back in.
Okay. Well,
okay.
And I just want to ask Dr. Carmen. So there's been the gynae shift, and I know people might not like Candace Owens, but she's right about some things. She's right about men-women relationships, even though look who she married to, but that's another story. But we do have to have a better way of dealing with each other on a emotional and respectable level as far as Black men and Black women and rebuilding our own communities. She is right about that. It should not be this many single mothers out here. She is right. I don't know why I used her as a template, but she came to mind because she talks about it in her political circles. She just talked about it to the wrong audience. And really, she's a Caribbean too. That's another story. But she is right. And some of these women like Kimberly Clark and stuff say you need to rebuild the home and build the relationship back. So I wish he didn't have to click off right then, but he'll be back in. You got any suggestions on how to rebuild the relationships back that's been destroyed for so long, or is it over?
I started this interview tonight off with that it's very important that women start listening. That's the first thing. I mean, I'm not here to judge the Black man, but I'm here to examine myself and make sure I am being the best Black woman, Aboriginal Black American woman I could possibly be for that Aboriginal Black American man. And, my position is to promote that Black man. But in return, I expect protection. Like we have an obligation to our Black men, but our Black men have an obligation to us. And, there's a few of us, Black women out here that understand what our place is, but it's a lot of Black men out here that don't understand their place. And we as Black women, we need to be protected. We as Aboriginal Black American women, we need to be protected by you guys. We need to be loved by you guys. We need to be loved. And, we're not getting that. Now let's be clear. I mean, I got men beating my door down, but what are you really beating my door down for? Do you want to just hit it? Do you want to love me? Do you want to protect me? Can you handle that? Do you want to create an empire together? Or do you want to steal mine? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think, Aboriginal Black American women need to sit down together collectively, and we got to figure some things out within ourselves. But then it's a lot of things that the Aboriginal Black man got to get together too, because it appears to me, also that a lot of the Aboriginal Black American men are standoffish, especially when they know that Aboriginal Black American woman is, successful, intelligent, and smart. Just because we are all of those things does not mean we don't want to be loved. It does not mean that we don't want to be protected. And, I put out the vibration and the frequency of love. So, I don't have issues with men. I don't get into arguments or anything like that because I'm constantly checking myself. But I do understand that we want to be loved, and we deserve to be loved, and we deserve to be protected by our men, and that's not happening.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm glad you got. Well, first off, this might be kind of funny, but I'm glad you got some guys just trying to beat the door down. That's pretty cool.
Man,
Here's what it
it's the truth.
is.
Why not? What's the
Yeah, because
problem?
you do look like sometimes if I saw you out in public, I probably would have thought you were about 35 years old. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I just trip it off myself. But yeah, it is what it is.
I'm
I'm just
almost 60, Bernard.
hey.
Almost 60.
Wow.
Hey, look, well, hey, look, they say women look good at 62. Actually, some women look good at 70. It's mighty funny. I was thinking about this because I've been hearing everybody talk about Billie Holiday over the last couple of weeks and stuff, and I know you have an affection for Billie Holiday. So
They have
I
a
just,
new they have a new movie out about her called The United States versus Billie Holiday. And Billie Holiday was at that same prison camp that I was at. And so, I read her autobiography, the true one, I thought. And in the book, it said that she had stopped using when she got out of jail. But this United States versus Billie Holiday is stating something different, number one. Number two, it also shows, Bernard, how three different Black men, hurt her and set her up. And it's really, here it is, we got Judas and the Black Messiah with, that guy setting up, the Black Messiah. Then I'm looking, this weekend I looked at Billie Holiday, and here it is, three different Black men, got her set up or tried to set her up. It's like, I think about the NAACP and what they did to me. So it's like, what are we doing to one another? So what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, we are hurting one another. And and I tweeted bootlickers. I tweeted a couple of days ago, bootlickers is the Black on Black crime. And I remember the day like it was yesterday. I remember the day like it was yesterday when I got the phone call, when I was asked to stop the narrative of, why is the legal foreclosures running through the Black community? And they asked me, how much did I want? They asked me about a bag. You know what I'm saying? And it was no way that I could sell my people out, because my people that look like me and you was losing their homes to fraud and illegal foreclosures. So I went to jail because I didn't take that bag. I'm not a sellout. I'm not a bootlegger. No, not only did I not take their bag, I did not take their plea. So we fucked up, excuse my language. The things that we're doing to one another is disgusting. It's horrible. It's horrible what we're doing to want to each other. Forget what the white man is doing. Look at what we're doing to each other. Look at what the Baptist, Southern, whatever that was, did to Martin Luther King. Look at what I assume. Look at what the Nation of Islam did to Malcolm. Look at what, I forget the guy's name who did to Marcus Garvey. These were our people.
Well, W.E. Du Bois, but actually with that thing, as a matter of fact, come think about it, they just had the guy last week come out and actually, what is that guy died? I think his name was Ray Woods. Actually, it was a police informants that infiltrated. And actually, that's another thing with the infiltration of the NOI and other organizations. They did a lot of infiltration. Now, to really be honest with you now, because that's why they put out the thing, the NOI and the came out. Matter of fact, the guy Ray Woods actually came out and admitted, and that was a government hit. But I will say this: the government now don't have to really infiltrate no more. You know what they do?
What they do?
They'll start the organizations with the infiltrators, and then now you just a front for the infiltrators, but the real infiltrators are the ones getting bailed out of the jail. That's why, like with Kamala Harris, you know, when they talking about ending cash bail, right? I said it's a good thing, but who you really bailing out? Because to me, what I think they about to start doing is start having more uprisings and have their little government agents, BLM, Antifa, run around, and they're gonna be bailing them out every night. We had a situation there in Richmond where the prosecutor asked, "Wait a minute, why you keep locking all these people up and you keep letting them out the other day?" And they were out there here just burning the damn city down. I mean, shit. I mean, you come down here in Richmond, man, DTLR and all the stuff down there, they burned that thing. They look. Homeless man even went in the damn Verizon store, got him a phone. He said, "Hey, let me get a phone too." Shit, y'all done broken everything. So, I mean, you just have to be. That's why I said when they start talking about they're gonna end cash bail and stuff, you just always have to be careful who benefiting, who getting off. Because I seriously, they might be doing it, but are they doing it for their little charade protesters? Because a lot of people don't know your charade protesters be getting out too. And a lot of people in I think it was one of them states, I can't remember which one it was. They were actually in Minnesota, I think. Matter of fact, Kamala Harris said that bail fund out, and a lot of people who were sex offenders and murderers and rapists are also getting out too. So that's a scary provision. And but then again, BLM, you got to understand.
Well, they still on their agenda.
They actually
black families separated. They still on their agenda to keep the black family separated, the black woman against the black man. And I don't know if y'all caught the interview. Is that I think that was Malcolm X. Was that his daughter on the Breakfast Club? Did you see that interview?
Is that recently?
That was recently. Probably within the last week, maybe Thursday, Friday.
Let me write that down. And I'll write it down so I can Google that. I would love to see that.
What is her name? It starts with an I. I don't know how to pronounce it. Something Shabazz. It starts with an I. Right. Now, Charlamagne asked her, he said, why you think women are at the forefront, you know what I mean, of trying to liberate so-called black people, or some type of question he asked her. Now, I'm like, hold on. Now, we just watched the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. We just seen Malcolm X get killed. We got evidence of Martin Luther King, you know what I mean, get set up. Marcus Garvey got set up. Now you're gonna sit up here and disrespect he's a black man, and you're gonna sit up and disrespect black man and ask her that goofy question. You know what I mean? Come on, dude. See, a lot of them are the problem too, because they keep spinning these narratives trying to pin us against our black women. We never really was against our black women. The setup was to set them up, our black women, into this capitalism system, right? In the capitalism mindset of, you know, I guess liberating yourself financially, but that separates you from your mate in this system, the way they got it set up. Because guess what? You can have a woman that can have a business. She can get a doctor's degree. She can go work for these big corporations, and it's still Jewish ran corporations, white ran corporations, or Asian ran corporations or whatever. And now she can look back at the man that's not doing much. He might have a little business on the side that he doing, and he might be working 2 or 3 jobs. But they'll look back and say, "Oh, that ain't enough. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps."
That's right.
Well,
I'm glad. Let me say one thing. I'm glad
we working overtime because guess what? It's not in our favor. Now I'm not saying the system is not in our favor, but we still strive, to do the best we can do for our families to keep our families together. You got a lot of men that's out there that are.
I want to see some Dr. Carmen. That's why me and Chaq glad to have a queen like you on our side and not against us. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to share. First of all, that's why I had to write it down. First of all, I don't watch the Breakfast Club, but I will find it on YouTube because Malcolm X's daughter is on there, because I don't.
That's the only reason I watched it.
Yeah, I don't believe in their narrative.
Right.
I think that Charlemagne or the God or whatever his name is, what's going on with him, I think he's out of his mind. He's lost his way. I don't really know too much about the other two, but I hear a lot of things about Charlemagne, and I'm very disappointed in him as a Aboriginal Black man. That's number one. Number two, I respect a man that's providing for himself and for his family. I respect that. And if a man like that, what you just described, working 3 jobs and this and that and all that, and he is with a woman who has a doctorate or whatever, I believe that both of them should become one and pull each other up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to discredit a man because he's working 3 jobs. We're in 2021. The war is against us. And when I say us, I mean me and you. So we have to come together at some point. We got to figure it out. And the respect that we do not have for one another is so strange and odd, because when we do come together, it's magic. It's a beautiful thing. And
Right.
the other thing that I would like to share with our sisters, even though it's very difficult for us to be Aboriginal Black American women, we have no idea what the Aboriginal Black American man go through every day. And we have to put that in our forefront and remember that their struggle is much harder than ours. So we have to be conscious and mindful of that. And I keep that in the forefront of my mind when I come in contact with any Aboriginal Black American man, whether it's a cashier, I'm respectful. Whether it's a businessman, I'm respectful. And because I don't know what your struggle is, but I can only assume that it's very difficult and it's hard. And I don't want to be part of that problem. I want to be part of the solution.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to be. Yeah. So what I want to say is I'm glad that we was able to get this dialogue. Shaq, yeah, you're right. I'm glad that you was able to finally get on here with Dr. Carmen Johnson, and I want to say that she is as good as advertised. Hey, look, she checks on me all the time. I was talking to somebody today, and I said sometimes people that are strangers you never met actually become your best friends or people you known for a long time. It's actually very interesting. That's the way it is. That's how life goes, I guess. And he said he got a pair of scissors. He got a pair of scissors that he need to cut people off with. And I just got to give respect to those brothers and sisters in Houston and Chicago and what's the other state I've been to? Goddamn, I've been in a lot of states recently. Shit. Well, anyway, I got a lot of friends in other states, so it's very interesting. Like minds bring like-minded results. So shout out to Mr. Valentine, Mr. Phillips, Mr. McClure. Thank him for, you know, paying for my lunch last week in Houston. He said I was visiting, so he couldn't let me pay for the meal, but it is what it is. But but I think Dr. Carmen Johnson, I got to give a shout out to the judge, Joe Brown, for setting me up to even interview Dr. Carmen Johnson. She's been a wonderful friend ever since. So thank you to the judge for that. And
Yeah, he just texted me, so he must be finished with his 5-hour interview with Brother Ron.
Oh man, did y'all watch it? Did y'all catch some of it?
No,
yeah, I caught some.
I didn't. I was on here, but I'll catch up with it, or I'll call.
Okay, well they talked about that move that Billy Holiday, and he talked about the amendment, and he talked about a little bit about Billie Holiday, and he described, like you said, the book she wrote or whatever. That wasn't the name she wanted to. Even with this movie, that wasn't the name that she wanted to name it, because but the director, obviously they're going to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell all the truth. They're going to tell. They might not even tell 180 degrees of truth. You know what I mean? So you got to read the books too. Go back and read her books, like you said, and read all these other books, Malcolm X and stuff. Because I think his daughter, I think she's got his original transcripts of the original book. He was intending, to put out or get published or whatever. So
yeah,
we got to do our research.
Yeah, Alex Haley took pieces out and added pieces in. I hear when he wrote Malcolm X's book, number 1, and number 2, Judge Joe Brown's aunt, I believe, was Billie Holiday's roommate. So a lot of things that they are saying about her, he has confirmed that were absolutely not true.
Right.
He's such a jewel, isn't he? He is a jewel.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So in matter of fact, shout out to Brother Ron and the judge also, who I've been to Memphis, Tennessee to meet, and Dr. Sakima Bay as well. But I do thank the judge for giving you. He puts high. I hate to say it, but because I'm kind of like a person. He puts high. You're
gonna have to do another show with Dr. Sakima Bay too, man, because this situation with us calling ourselves black, it's cool that we call ourselves black as a title that we represent. But when they do it, they doing it in a derogatory. I want people to understand that. They know they doing it in a derogatory. We doing it because we are representing ourselves. But when they do it and call it, they know that they're being derogatory with the word black American. They know that. So I just want people to keep that in mind.
Well, let me say something. That's why I said when I was in Memphis, so I do got to give a shout out to them. The judge, he gives, to be honest with you, I mean, he's 73 years old. I think he's 73. Yeah, he is 73. His birthday is the same month as mine, actually. But he does, I've been listening to some shows that he was on, and he's been giving me high praise. I don't know why, but he's been giving me high praise. So thank you, Judge. I mean, like I said, and I met Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. in Chicago. I know he says, yeah, I met him last year in July last year. I gotta try to get him back on too, so we can discuss the Judas and Black Messiah as well.
Yeah, but I sent him an email. I ain't heard from him yet. I sent him an email last 3 weeks. I ain't heard from him yet. So when you talk to him.
Yeah, he was on Darren Muhammad's show yesterday, but I just want to say that the judge, he gives you high praise sometimes. He actually said that I remind him of young Fred Hampton. I'm not going that far off the cuff, but it is what it is. Just call me Bernard and call it a day, But I do thank him for his compliments and concerns. The judge, he is a walking book of knowledge a lot of times, and he's been a lot of places. So I do thank him for doing that. I thank him for also giving me the keys to connect with you. And in a lot of ways, he's given me the keys to connect with a whole lot of people. So thank you to Valerie Denise Jones. And I also want to shout out her for making the website for the personal training. And I may get her to make a website for me on another tip. so I cannot be silenced because I'm pretty sure they're gonna if you see how many times they put me in Facebook jail over the last 8 months trying to silence me, but I will not be silenced. And I just want to thank the judge for I'm not gonna say um, I'm just gonna thank him for asking people what am I doing and stuff like that. Sometimes I know one time Dr. Carmen one time said the judge hadn't heard from you in a couple of days or something. Are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm good. I was just handling some business. So it is what it is.
I want to make two comments. So the first comment is one of the worst things about the judge is when he give me homework. That is the worst. That is the worst. So I was going around talking about it was 8 Crime Act bills, but he was like, no, it's 9. And I'm like, give me a hint where I can find the 9th one at. So I'm still trying to find that 9th one so I can get back with him on that 9th bill. So that's like the worst when he gives me homework and give me a little crumb to go follow, and then I got to do my own research. But I love him to death. That's number one. And number two, I was looking at G. William Scott, and he said, I do not consider myself Black or people of color. So I absolutely agree with you. But because I'm on so many different shows, I don't know what to say. But for me personally, like if you go to my Twitter account, it says that I am an Aboriginal American woman because my people was here first. We all didn't come here in slave ships, and Black means nothing. So, you can't, that's why we can't get reparations because we claiming ourselves as Black or niggas or Negroes or colored. But because I'm on so many different shows, I have to throw that in there so people can understand, because a lot of times we're not talking about the breakdown of what and who we really are. So I just throw the Aboriginal Black American because the word I'm American. That's who I am. I was here first. My people was here first. I was always taught that from my father's side and from my mother's side. So, but if people want to go by Black, I support that. But for me and my people, my family, we go by Aboriginal Americans. But, I stick the Black in there just so I can, keep up with the audience and they can keep up with me. But I totally agree with you, G. William Scott, and I respect you. And I'm glad you understand that.
Well, I got to give
No.
special shout out to who I've done shows with, and he always talks to me, and I got to give him thank. Hey, Rob Player, thanks for that wonderful call the other night from Oakland, California. Thank you for subscribing, and I'm glad that you was able to talk to me the other night. So thank you once again for your wonderful information you had about what's going on out there. Keep me informed. Okay, now I just want to say, this is an interesting conversation. I am glad that I was on with Dr. Carmen Johnson and Chaq. I just want to say, also tune into G. William Scott, and you can also cash app him as well. Now, I want to say thank you, Dr. Carmen, for the donation you just sent me. You are a wonderful supporter of mine, and you are what they call like a big sister, which actually my real sister is actually, I think, about 55 or a year older than you, somewhere in there. My brother's 59. No, he's actually 60 now. So I do, but you are as good as advertised. And I just thank you for your friendship and support. We're going into March now, and the spring is coming. And when I get a chance, just like I did with everybody else I've been on this podcast with, I will possibly get to you. I probably would rather. I've been to DC so much. It's like I probably would rather have you come to Virginia, explore this town, and see everything where I grew up. It is not the same anymore. This is becoming a fast gentrified city of Richmond, Virginia, but it is what it is. I do want your thoughts and closing comments.
Well, let me just interject right quick and show the audience a little bit of something. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Well, let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get it. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. Can you see the title on there?
Yeah, Sorrel. Yeah.
What does it say?
Sorrel.
Sorrel. Now you may be able to get this in America at some of your stores. It's called, and it might say hibiscus. Now that's good for blood pressure. So all these people that taking these blood pressure pills, get you some sorrel or hibiscus. It's like a little flower, it's like a little leaf. You put it in your pot of water, let it boil, and then, like you said, you can add your sweetener to it, like your maple syrup or your honey or your blackstrap molasses, and add a little pinch of cayenne pepper in there, and they're gonna bring your blood pressure down naturally.
Well, that's great, but if people stop eating what they don't supposed to eat, then they don't have to worry about blood pressure. But the another good thing for people to take is black seed oil. That's good. Also, I take that every single day.
I got some downstairs.
Yeah, black seed oil.
Yeah, that's good too. But we like we said earlier, it's all about this junk that we're eating.
Well, I just want to close. Let me let y'all. I'm gonna let ladies first. And any thoughts or comments? Any updates you want to say, Dr. Carmen Johnson?
Just go to my website and sign my petition. And do not give a donation, because the donation goes to change.org. Just please sign my petition, forward to your network, and have them sign as well, and tell them do not give a donation to change.org. Just forward the petition once you sign it. Also, take an interest in reading my story and reading what I went through, and understanding that I'm on my way back to the Supreme Court. This is my second trip back to the Supreme Court, fighting for my dignity, which I never lost, but fighting for my name, fighting for my money back that they took, fighting to be vindicated. And I have a petition on there. It's been up since September last year, asking the President of the United States to look at my case, to investigate my case, and then grant me a pardon. Under Article 72, the pardon only would cover the probation that they have me under, the restoration that they have me under, and it will help me get my money back, a huge amount of money that they took that they called substitute assets, but it cannot vindicate me. But the biggest thing is getting them to investigate my case. But I need the support of my community. I need people to understand my story. I need people to use me as an example. If you or have family members that are going through this injustice system, this disparity that's in this court system, to understand, to not take a plea, to not be afraid, to stand up for who you are. And last but not least, to remember who you are.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, like you said, I appreciate you, King BJ and Dr. Carmen Johnson, for you guys coming on and sharing your knowledge, and your wisdom on this platform. You guys are truly using this thing. This social experiment called social media. You're using it to the best of your knowledge. You're taking advantage of it, and I think I'm gonna start taking advantage of it more. I was a little bit more quiet, but now that I got a little bit more confidence in talking on film. I think I'm gonna start, like you said, on Facebook maybe, or just start me a channel on YouTube, trying to help people, like you said, that has this with diabetes or people with high blood pressure. I want to start like lives, like have a live video where you come on, and maybe we, like you said, we share recipes, or we do some type of home remedies that we know that work. People that's went through the struggle of disease. We can do it together. I want to start that group where we all from grassroots do it together. You know what I mean? If it's somebody that needs some help, like you said, because it's tough. People now don't explain that it's tough for people that's
going through with a disease. Even the family members have struggled with it because they're not in it, so they don't know how tough it is having that disease. So even the family members can come on to this podcast that I'm going to start eventually to talk about ways to help cope with a family member that has a disease that they, are struggling with. We're a family. We are human beings, and we need to start helping each other out. Like you said, each one teach one. We are our brother and sisters keepers. Don't let these people, these demonic people, keep separating us, man.
Well, let me close out with this. I just glad that I was able to get y'all on. I'm sorry, the young queen wouldn't able to get on. Maybe I get her on a separate show. She was cooking, but hey, that's a good thing that she's 23 years old cooking, because a lot of people, just don't cook anymore and they go to fast food restaurants. So it's good that she's cooking her food, and stuff like that. So shout out to Lauren, even though she wasn't on here. I do appreciate her. Also, people should donate to her. She's a wonderful young lady. She is the youngest person that I am around with knowledge. Well, not around per se, but talk to with knowledge. So it's more, but she brings a interesting dynamic. So I also give a shout out to her because she makes my life go easier, knowing that some people of the lost generation can come up. And I'm sure Dr. Carmen Johnson appreciates the young Queen Lauren as well, and so does Chaq.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah.
Yes, I do.
So,
Can I add one more thing?
mhm.
I would like to leave my cell phone number for anybody that's that may not be confident enough to start using alternative ways of healing themselves. And we can exchange information, like you said. If there's something they know that I can use to help me better, heal myself too. My phone number is 469-855-3599. And if you just want to have a conversation about, because like you said, it's hard to have this conversation. People talking, you might be embarrassed. I will not judge. I will just have the conversation. Even if you just need somebody to listen to you. I will listen to you.
Well, Shaq, don't forget to read that book, number one. And number two, did I talk enough for you this evening?
No. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But we still need more because, like you said, you got a lot of information. And like you said, it's your aura. I think that's what I'm looking for. It was your aura. It's your aura that you give off.
And what's that?
A shining star, a shining light. Something we need, a breath of fresh air that we need. We need to tap back in, like you said. We are the current. Us of melanated people, we are the current of the earth. What we do, what we say, the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we think, the way we feel, everybody feels that energy, that positive current. And like you said, we need to get back grounded and balance ourselves. Going outside. Back in the days, our ancestors. The reason why they had a lot of meetings, a lot of so-called ciphers outside around trees and stuff, because we are that. We are that. We are the earth, and we communicate with the earth, with the sun, the moon, the stars, the trees, the grass. A lot of us, we've been in these houses and these churches and these buildings and stuff. Sometimes they disconnect us from, the energy, that the positive charge that we either giving off or we need to get to rejuvenate ourselves. So,
Well, I just want to thank y'all for coming on. Now, y'all were awesome. And Shaq, keep in contact with Dr. Carmen Johnson. I always do. Sometimes you call me at 7 o'clock in the morning to make sure I'm doing okay. That's the meaning of a true friend right there. So, yeah, but let me say it.
Bernard, send him that book, please.
I did.
Okay, great. Shaq, make sure you, yeah.
And yeah, she makes sure I'm doing all right. So that's all I can ask for. But normally, I hate to tell you, I'm usually doing all right because I'm always up early and reading and researching. That's why that's why a lot of people say, dang, this guy be sending stuff. I'm always thinking. And look, it's a song that said, I think it was Eric B. and Rakim, thinking of a master plan. I'm always thinking of a master plan. And another way to get out of this matrix that Dr. Carmen Johnson said. With that being said, I love both of y'all, and y'all have a good night.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
All righty.